105,000. It's come a long ways. It's not just me anymore. It's many volunteers, trucking companies and individuals and companies all over the United States.
I don't want to let my brother's name be forgotten. And nobody should let anybody that's killed over here their name forgotten or forgot what they did.
Ultimately, it's all about saying thank you to everyone in here.
In life, they honored their country. In death, their country honors them.
These people have sacrificed their lives for our freedom, and I think that it's great for all of us to be involved with this, to give back a little bit.
My name is Catherine Cross, and I'm an American Gold Star mother. I lost my son in January of 2002. He was a Navy SEAL.
All right, we're laying wreaths because it's the holiday season, and the holiday season is a time of joy, gratitude, and giving more than you receive. Now, does all that fit in such a solemn moment as this? I think it does. In this time of year where traditions include exchanging gifts, I would ask all of you to consider this. The soldiers we honor today gave us gifts. The gift of an example of selflessness. They put themselves before others. They gave us the gift of safety and security. And the question is, what will we do with these gifts? Some of us, the currently serving, will look to their example and continue to fight for our safety and security and our personal freedom. But all of us should humbly take these gifts, their gifts, and leave here today recommitted to live a life worthy of their sacrifice, lest we forget.
You should also know that this nation is being served currently by another great generation of young men and women.
Still doing their job, protecting us, giving us our freedom. So even if it's a little cold, we'll be out here honoring the ones that have fallen. So it's nothing compared to what they do for us.
On occasions like this, when we stop to honor our veterans, living and dead, we tend to see them as square-jawed, tall, husky, Norman Rockwell type of people. And that's not what they are. These people that we're honoring today came from right here in our community. And if you want to see what they looked like, just look around you. Look at your neighbors. Look at the veterans among you, and you'll see what veterans look like who have been there. Look at the youngsters that are with us, and you'll see what the veterans of tomorrow are going to look like. They're our folks. When they leave to go to serve their country, there are no bands, there's no music, there are no flags. They simply go and do their duty. They leave their families, they leave their jobs, they leave their communities. They go out and they do a good job. And that's why we honor them today.
I don't know. Honor guard, halt. Right, peace. Post. Half left, peace. Breathe in.
Good morning and welcome to Parkman School's Wreath Across America program. I can't express how honored we are to host families and friends of Wreath Across America. I have to admit that I didn't know anything about the program when Lori Gates, who you'll meet in a little while, contacted me. She told me that our PTO is going to be selling wreaths to support the goal of the program, which is to make sure that every veteran's grave has a wreath on it during the holidays, as a means of recognizing the sacrifice men and women have made for those of us who live in the United States. But she wanted to take it one step further and have a program at our school to bring more focus on the Wreath Across America program itself and its purpose in our Enfield community. It only took me a very short time speaking with Mrs. Gates to know that this was something the Parkman School would enthusiastically support. Little did I know, however, that during the first conversation that we had, that we would be sitting in this gymnasium surrounded by all these people with an 18-wheeler tractor-trailer truck parked in our front driveway holding 5,000 wreaths. Amazing. And boys and girls, as you know, what's the destination of those wreaths? Everybody. Right, Arlington National Cemetery, right, where on December 10th, which is this Saturday, those wreaths will be placed on every grave. 330,000 wreaths will be placed on that grave, on those graves. We are also having a ceremony in Enfield on December 10th, which is this Saturday, at St. Pat's Cemetery, where wreaths will be placed on veterans' graves there. So if your parents purchased a wreath from our program, then you are more than welcome to go, or even if you didn't, you're more than welcome to participate. We have learned so much about the wreath program itself, and children in our school have had the opportunity to learn and appreciate how the military within the Navy, Marines, Army, Air Force, and Coast Guard, as well as their families, have given so much for us. And as a side note, when I was just speaking about Arlington, my son Chris is a paramedic firefighter in Virginia, and his fire department a couple of years ago went to Arlington and placed wreaths on the graves, and he just was home for Thanksgiving, and he told me he's going to be doing it again this year, and he just finds it such an honor and a privilege to be able to do that. As you probably noticed for our guests that are in our school today, when you entered the main doors, if you came through the main doors, we've been very busy at Parkman educating all those who pass through our doors about the wreaths program and the veterans it seeks to recognize. We have dedicated our showcase located opposite the office, and if you didn't see it, please take time to look at it on your way out, to members of the staff's family who have served in the armed forces. The children wrote essays, which are hanging in the main hallway, sharing why they felt that veterans should be honored, and we'll be hearing from some of those children in a few minutes. The staff and children have prepared various skits and songs for this assembly to honor our veterans. We are also going to post a Veterans Wall of Fame, which is going to be behind me in a little while. And I want to especially thank my staff, the students, and our PTO for their participation and support in this very worthwhile project. We have some guests with us today, and I'm just going to take a short few minutes to introduce them. We have 3 Gold Star families with us, and Patty Patak will introduce them to us in a few minutes. But we also have many veterans in our audience from various branches of the armed forces, and I would like them to stand so they can be recognized for the service they gave to our country. Would those veterans that are retired or active, any, just stand please? And just so the children know that you were a veteran, even the veterans against the wall, just raise your hand so the children can recognize you. We're honored to have all of them with us today. One of those veterans happened to be my dad, and I know when we had our assembly at the end of October, Mrs. Gates told you that my dad was going to be doing the Pledge of Allegiance, but we're also used to doing the Star-Spangled Banner and then rolling right into the Pledge of Allegiance, that I didn't have time to bring him up here. So I would just like to introduce you to my dad, Carmen Scavato, and he's a veteran of the Navy. I also have Mr. Sample with me today. Mr. Sample was in the Army National Guard. Mr. Sample, you want to just stand? He put in how many years? 30-something? And of course, we have many, many, many others, but since I'm the principal, I figure I get to introduce my family. So, we also have our Enfield State representatives and state senator from the state legislature with us. We have David Kiner from the 59th District. Kathy Colorito from the 58th District, and Senator John Kissel. From the Board of Education, we have Timothy Neville, our newly elected chairperson, Vinnie Grady, our newly elected vice chair, and then we have Tina LeBlanc from the Board of Ed, Donna Suzek from the Board of Ed, and Jen Rencourt from the Board of Ed. We also are fortunate to have some town council representatives with us. We have the mayor of Enfield, Scott Copen, Carol Hall, Cindy Mangini, and Greg Stokes. And I'm very grateful that Dr. Gallagher, our superintendent of schools, is with us, as is Linda Kavanaugh, our curriculum director. Mrs. Gates is somewhere in the audience. Where are you, Mrs. Gates? Oh, she's way in the back, and she's got a blue shirt on. Thank you, Mrs. Gates. Without her, we would not be here today. She did so much work for me. It was incredible. And we also have Patty Patak, who's the Wreath Across America coordinator and a Connecticut Patriot Guard rider as well. And then we have Jean Robinson from the Connecticut Daughters of the American Revolution, who brought the wreath ceremony to Enfield. We're also honored to have honor guards from the, you can just raise your hands, gentlemen, if you would, from the American Legion Post 80, American Legion Post 154, and the Enfield Police Department. Accompanying our truck driver to Virginia, who you'll meet very shortly, are the Connecticut Patriot Guard riders, who are also veterans of the armed services. And would you gentlemen raise your hands as well? Parents here who have served in the military, and those parents, just stand for us, please. Where are you? Raise your hands. I also have two staff members whose sons are in the military. Mrs. Roy, whose son is in the Air Force. Mrs. Roy, stand up. Is it Air Force? Yeah. And Mrs. Farrow, whose son is in the Air Force. I don't know where she is. Mrs. Farrow. Mrs. Roy's son is actually serving in Afghanistan right now, so we keep him in our thoughts. Okay, we're going to transition over to some of the programs that the kids came up with, and I would like Mrs. Guzzi in her 4th grade classroom to, as quickly as you can, because the truck has to leave and the driver has to leave, as quickly as you can come up to the center area right here. This is Mrs. Guzzi and grade 3.
All right, good morning everybody. My student have just a very short skit on what is a veteran.
Hey, did you bring your markers and paper? Yes, I have. Everything will be for our pictures and drawings. What are we going to draw? Silly, you know we're here to research veterans.
How do I draw a veteran? I don't even know what it is.
A veteran is a who, not a what. You better start by going to the dictionary and looking up the definition of a veteran.
What do you mean a veteran is a who?
Go look it up. We can use the definition in our project.
Is a veteran a person?
Go look it up in the dictionary.
All right. All right, here it is. A veteran is a person who has served in the armed forces, an experienced soldier, especially one who has served in a time of war. And Veterans Day is a legal holiday in the United States, honoring all veterans of the armed forces.
See, a veteran isn't a what, it's a person who died for our country. They're the ones that get flags put on their graves on holidays.
No. Veteran isn't isn't always someone who died in a war or even fought in a war at all.
That's right. A veteran is a man who served in the Army, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, or Air Force.
Well, that's half right.
What do you mean that's half right?
Well, women can be veterans too. Many women have served our country in armed forces in times of peace and in times of war. Women can be veterans too.
You mean a veteran doesn't have to have been in a war?
No, just having been in the armed forces makes a person a veteran.
Wow, veterans are really special people, aren't they? I mean, if a person is in the armed forces and we have a war, then they have to go, right?
No, not really. Veterans are people who have already served, but are no longer in the armed forces of our country. My grandfather is a veteran. He was in the Korean War. My Uncle Jake is a veteran too, because he was in the Navy.
No, veterans really are special people, and they deserve to be honored with a holiday.
There are lots of patriotic songs that honor veterans and our country. Maybe we could include a song with our project.
I think there's a songbook over there that has all the words to a patriotic song.
Great, let's pick one out that everybody can sing along with.
Reach Across America Day would be a good time to remember and to thank veterans for all they have done for us and for our country.
Great job, Word 4. Now that we have a little perspective about what a veteran is, we'd like to recognize some local, very well-known veterans to the Parkman community. In a minute, like Mrs. Sample mentioned, we're going to build our Veterans Wall of Fame. Each classroom had a red poster hanging outside of their door in the hallway for the past week, and students and staff were able to honor veterans, either friends or family, by posting a white star. So in a minute, I'm going to call them up. The red papers and white stars are going to go on our blue wall back here. When I call your class, if you could come up front and start over here and see Mrs. Karn and Ms. Jakes, they're going to help hang posters up. Okay, so let's start with grade 3, classrooms 1, 2, and 3. Please bring your papers up. Okay, rooms 4, 5, and 6. Okay, from grade 4, rooms 13, 14, and 15, please. Fourth grade, rooms 16, 17, 18. Okay, Steph, we'll start bringing them over here. Okay, grade 5, we're going to start bringing them towards this side of the gym, please, and we'll have rooms 19, 20, and 21. All right, right over here. I did. I see the hair. Count on me. Okay. And finally, rooms 22, 23, and 24, please. Scissors.
Are you anywhere near the office? Enough for you.
Hey, boys.
Okay, do we have everybody?
Yep.
Okay, I'll fix them up.
Okay. All right, you can close it.
Thank you to all my students for recognizing members of their families at this very special assembly. Grades 3 and 4 are now going to perform a song, This Land Is Your Land. Grades 3 and 4, would you just stand, please? Just stand right where you are. Let's do it as quietly as possible. Okay, boys and girls. Remember what I told you, the truck driver and the riders have to leave, so we need to be quiet. sat down and settled down. We now have 3 students, SAs, who were chosen by a committee that included me and 3 teachers. And as I told the audience, all the children in the school participated in this essay contest, and they're all posted in the hallways. It was a very difficult decision. The teachers gave us their choice of 2, and then we chose out of 12 from each grade level. We went down to 3. So it was very, very hard decision to make. At this time, I'm going to call the grade 3 students up. Jalen Morgan from room 1, Tyra Shaw from room 5, and Anna Bryson from room 3. If you 3 students would come up with your papers, please. Stand up here.
I think it is important to honor, remember, and respect our veterans because they die, fight, and do dangerous things to keep the USA a safe place for you to live in. Veterans spend a lifetime training for war. That is why the people of America put wreaths on the graves of veterans to thank them for serving in the USA. The Pledge of Allegiance is also thanking them for serving in America. We should thank veterans every day of the week. If veterans are past retiring or still serving in the military, we should still be thanking them for serving. So on every day of the week, and especially on November 11th, let's thank our veterans for serving our country. It is important to honor and remember our veterans because they help protect all of our country by fighting terrorists. Also, they help give us all our freedom that we have today. Some veterans died for our freedom. Another reason to honor and remember our veterans is they help to keep the peace around the world. Another job some veterans had was to help people during natural disasters like the storm we just had. They had important jobs like giving food and supplies to the shelters. They also might have saved people when they were in danger. Veterans are grateful people who fight for our country.
I think we should honor veterans because they risk their lives for our country. Veterans also fight for us to have a free country, and we should honor that. We also can honor them by showing our support to their family and friends. Veterans also make us feel safe because they fight for our country and our peace.
Nice job, grade 3 students. Mrs. Serrato and her 4th grade students. I don't know, Mrs. Serrato, do you want to have them just stand where they are, or do you want them to come center?
I can center.
Okay.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Mrs. Serrato and her class are doing I'm Coming Home.
Jacob.
Thanks.
Room 14 is going to tell you some facts about Veterans Day.
Did you know Veterans Day used to be called Armistice Day? Armistice Day started on the 11th hour on the 11th day of the 11th month. I'm coming home, I'm coming home. Tell the world that I'm coming home. Let the rain wash away all the pain of yesterday. I have served the United States and my family awaits. I'm coming home, I'm coming home. Tell the world that I'm coming home.
Did you know Dr. Seuss served in the U.S. Army?
I'm coming home, I'm coming home. Tell the world that I'm coming home. Let the rain wash away all the pain of yesterday. I have served in the United States and my family awaits. I'm coming home, I'm coming home. Tell the world that I'm coming home.
Did you know veterans miss birthdays, graduations, and sometimes babies being born while serving our country?
I'm coming home, I'm coming home. Tell the world that I'm coming home. Let the rain wash away all the pain of yesterday. I have served the United States and my family awaits. I'm coming home, I'm coming home. Tell the world that I'm coming home. Thank you, veterans.
I have to tell you, they actually came to my office one day about a month ago and auditioned for me and Mrs. Cunningham and have done a wonderful job practicing. Okay, next on our agenda, or our program actually, are our grade 4 students' essays. So I'd like Jacob DeLauro from room 14, Ava Ruggiero from room 13, and Jack Willoughby from room 17 to come forward, please.
I think we should honor veterans because they help keep our country safe. They take time away from their families to protect people in the USA. They risk their lives by fighting in the wars. We should honor them because if we didn't have veterans, then we would not have freedom in this country. I think it's important to honor all veterans even if they didn't fight in any war because they still helped our country. I think this because they're not selfish and they're brave to fight for our country. I think they're the bravest people in the United States. And without them, we would not have the freedoms that we have today. I am thankful for the Navy, Army, Coast Guard, Air Force, and the Marines.
On Veterans Day, we honor all who answered to a service call. Soldiers young and soldiers old fought for freedom, brave and bold. Some have lived while others died. All of them deserve our pride. We're proud of all the soldiers who kept thinking of red, white, and blue. They fought for us and all of our rights. They fought through many days and nights. And though we may not know each name, we should thank all veterans just the same. Every single war is hard to fight and many people lose their lives. I am glad that we are free because a lot of men and women let us be. I don't know if I'm brave enough to go on war like they do for us. We honor veterans that fight for us, that give us freedom, all of us.
Very talented children. Thank you, grade 4. And now we have Miss Acker, who is going to be leading some sampling of students, chosen students from grade 5. All 6 grade 5 classes are represented in this next presentation. So if those students with Miss Acker would come to the front, please. And they're going to be telling us about what a veteran is.
Group. To be killed in the war is not the worst. To be lost in the war is not the worst. To be forgotten is the worst. Pierre Clayson spoke this remark. With the Reads Across America program, we guarantee that those who have served their country in any way will always be remembered.
In the words of Ronald Reagan, 40th United States President, freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same. Or one day we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it was once like in the United States, where men were free.
Today we will be telling you some important facts about veterans. As you already know, a veteran is someone who has served in any of the armed forces. They are the Army who serve on land, the Navy who serve on the sea, the Marines who serve on land and sea, the Air Force who protect our skies, and the Coast Guard who protect our coastline.
When Francis Keyes wrote the Star-Spangled Banner almost 200 years ago, he called America the land of the free and home of the brave. These words are as true now as they were then. Throughout this nation's history, America's soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen have bravely answered the call to defend our freedom, to aid our friends and allies, and turn back aggressors.
We can never fully repay our depth of gratitude to more than 650,000 American service members who died in battle or the 1.4 million who were wounded. We can, however, recognize and thank more than 224 million veterans still living today.
These words are inscribed on the Korean War Memorial of Washington, D.C. Our nation honors her sons and daughters who answered the call to defend a country they never knew and a people they never met.
These words apply equally to many of our World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Gulf War, Afghanistan, and Iraq veterans, as well, who have helped achieve peace throughout the world.
Today, our armed forces are defending our country against the terrorists who attacked us on September 11th. They are fighting the unseen enemy in unfamiliar places. These brave men and women are the veterans of tomorrow.
Today, it is our privilege to say thank you to all of America's veterans, to let them know that we appreciate them for their service and honor them for their sacrifices. The price of freedom is high. We cannot afford to forget those willing to pay it. Today, we celebrate American veterans for keeping this nation the land of the free and the home of the brave.
During World War I, a medical officer named John McCrae was inspired and saddened to see so many young servicemen being wounded and killed. He wrote this poem to express his feelings. Some students will now recite this poem, In Flanders Field, by John McCrae.
In Flanders fields by John McCrae, in Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead, short days ago, we lived, fell hard, saw the sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw the torch, be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep till the poppies grow in Flanders fields.
We would like to thank Police Across America drivers and donors and the police escort as well. This is a huge task they have undertaken to honor America's heroes by placing wreaths at their graves. What a great lesson for all of us about patriotism and service to country.
Thank you, all veterans.
Nice job. Thank you, grade 5 representatives. And before we go to our last song, and then I will introduce Patty Patak, I would like our grade 5 students who had their essays chosen to come up. Z Pham from room 24, Hannah Phelps from room 22, and Marissa Longo from room 22.
Have you ever thought about how important a veteran is?
Each and every day, a courageous man or woman who is willing to give up their life to save our freedom joins any military service branch, Army, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, or Air Force. Veterans are everything to our country. If we didn't have veterans, there would be no one protecting our independence and everything else in our country. We wouldn't have the life we have today. It is also important to honor and thank our veterans because each and every veteran volunteers to leave their home, family, and life, possibly forever, to protect us. When someone you know decides to join any military service branch, it can seem scary to you, but to that person, it isn't scary for him or her to protect you, your family, and most of all, our freedom. The most important thing to remember about our veterans is that they are caring, courageous, and they always give it their all, no matter what happened. So, next time you see a veteran, thank them for protecting you, me, and everyone else. That is why we should honor and thank our veterans. It is important to honor and thank our veterans because of how much they have done for us. Honoring and thanking them doesn't nearly come anywhere close to what they have done for us, but they appreciate the thought. Veterans are caregivers. If they didn't care for us, they wouldn't have volunteered to serve our country and risk their lives for us each and every day. Nobody's perfect, but veterans come close. Veterans are the best thing that has ever happened to our country. They are thoughtful, caring, courageous, and much more. Veterans are very important and special, and I am honored to know so many and want to thank them all. It is not a job to thank them, but a treat, an opportunity to thank these wonderful, thoughtful people that have given us everything but the clothes on our backs. They did not have to help us, but they wanted to. Veterans miss holidays, families' birthdays, and even funerals of loved ones in order to help people that they have never met, yet they keep doing it. They keep at it through thick and thin. They probably don't even get to call their families every once in a while. I don't know how it feels to not see someone you love for a while. Actually, I can't even imagine how it feels. Most people don't think about it, but they are very lucky that they get to be with their families every day. People don't realize that people who know someone from one of the 5 service branches might say goodbye and not even know that it may be their last words to their loved ones. They may leave and never come back. That is why it is important that we thank and honor all of those wonderful people.
To those who serve and those who died, this poem I wrote is not a lie. You protect us day and night, to some of us you are the light. From known to foreign land, many are saved by your hands. No matter where you help, from oceans to land, including sky, you are respected everywhere. You do things we would not dare, and you do your best to keep our country fair. You are the best because you're full of care. That's why on this day you are full of care. You're respected everywhere.
Thank you, grade 5 students. Wonderful job. Now our grade 5 students are going to stand quietly, and Ms. Jakes is going to lead you in God Bless America, and if anyone else in the audience wants to join in, please feel free. And at this time, the students that I asked to help with gifts, if you could go out by the gym entrance, those students that I asked to help with gift presentations, if you could go right now out there. Thank you, grade 5. Nice job. I would now like to introduce to you Patty Patak, who is the coordinator, the Wreath Across America coordinator and a Connecticut Patriot Guard writer for Connecticut. And she's going to make some final introductions. And then we will have the retirement of the colors to end our program. Patty?
Hi everybody, how you doing today? Now, some of you have red hats at the moment and some of you don't. I will make sure that more are shipped down to the here to the school and all of you will have red hats. The reason is it's called the Red Hat Society. Years ago, when Wreaths Across America started, one of the grammar schools up in Maine used to go down to Arlington, and all the kids had to wear these red hats so we could find who they were, and they didn't get lost. So that's the reason why you got the red hat, and I'll make sure that you get them all, okay? I think you guys got it. The words were remember, honor, and teach. I'm so proud of each and every one of you for the job you did, the presentation you put on for us. I have chills. I want to thank you so much for inviting us to your school as Wreaths Across America, and I couldn't have asked for a better presentation. Thank you, each and every single one of you kids, and you all deserve your own round of applause. Now, the first person I want to call up here is Whitey. This gentleman is the driver of the 18-wheeler. He's coming from Maine, going all the way down to Arlington National Cemetery with the truck that you see out in the front drive. This man has over 1,500,000 accident-free miles. So our wreaths could not be any safer. In 1 second. And from your school to one of the safest drivers I know. Here's his special badge.
Thank you very much. I certainly would like to thank all the students for the wonderful presentation. You did a great job. It's nice hearing all the poems, the songs, the essays. This wall here showing all the veterans from this all-American area of Enfield, Connecticut is fabulous. Let you know that there's so many veterans that do so much for all of us to protect our way of life, our liberty, and our freedom, and the quality of life that we enjoy so much. We see them out in the storms, not only with the war efforts, but on a daily basis, they're protecting our quality of life. It's great seeing this turnout. It's inspiring for us to come into a town like this, a great town like Enfield, Connecticut, and see the kids waving the flags. Thank you to all the teachers here at Parkman. We obviously see that you get to teach part of this program, and we honor our veterans, and we remember those that have made the ultimate sacrifice. We thank the Gold Star families that suffered the loss of a loved one, and we promise them that we will never forget. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Now I'd like to start off. Mrs. Sample, could I have you up here, please? I think I reversed her order. Oh. Mrs. Sample, on behalf of Wreaths Across America, we want to say thank you for inviting us to your school and giving us this beautiful presentation. And we'd like you to have this wreath that's being brought up to you so you can display in your school. And every time the kids see it, they'll remember those words. Remember, honor, and teach. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Could I please have Amanda and Tyler Jordan up here? Okay, well, we'll make two.
This is Michelle.
Hi, Michelle, how you doing? Okay, so now we have Amanda and Michelle instead. This is the wife
and daughter of Gunny Sergeant Philip Andrew Jordan. And we would just like to say thank you for your service and your sacrifice to our country. Give the voice to Mrs. Jordan. Thank you so much. Could I please have Lou and Kathy Johnson? This is another Gold Star family of Lance Corporal Philip Alexander Johnson, who gave his life for our country, and we're here to say thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. And now could I have Richard and Linda Bixler, please? These are the parents of Corporal Stephen Richard Bixler. And we're here to say thank you for your sacrifice also. Thank you. And I make sure. And once again, I just want to say thank you, everybody. We're so thrilled to have been able to stop here. All right? You guys all have a great day, and Merry Christmas.
Honor guard. Oh, right.